Good afternoon and welcome back to Northwest Native Tracker. Channel explores Bigfoot ground spore and native lore. Earlier this spring I filmed this log from the opposite end because it was a cross-through trail. The end's now broken off, the back end's broken down, new marker stone doesn't connect to the other side of the bank anymore. However, downstream this spring was some ground pigment. White pigment to be exact. Filmed that, posted it earlier this year, and now there is a brand new territory marker tree in place. Let me get around this downfall. Which is that guy right there. And there's this balanced stick with a stone in the middle of it. Looks like a teeter totter. Sitting here on the end of this jammed into the ground log. And it, yeah, teeter totter's pretty good. And it's balanced really well. But that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is the clay up here. So there is a stone where it looks like an individual was working clay, like just regular mud clay. And there's a little pigment stone here. It's called chalk stone. They're soft stones, which you use to make your glazes out of or make colored, coloring for your pot. And over here, there's a lump of clay that's raw clay, has this little stick marking it as being belonged. Somebody owns this little piece of clay, so don't take it. It's got a lot of debris in the clay, and it's been handworked, wet hands. That's what the lines here indicate. And when you put the two halves together and turn it over, it was worked on the rocks. Not a board, there's indentations of rock material and whatnot. So whoever was messing with this probably worked it right here in place. And then it's dried out and been left behind to come back to later. So they'll work their clay and they'll pick the little debris out, the bigger stuff that they can remove. And they'll rework their clay a couple of times according to what my grandmother's lore suggested. And then they'll be able to utilize it to make a pot once they get a lot of the bigger debris picked out. Kids are often sitting close by in order to help them, so occasionally you will find, play, dig evidence where kiddos been occupying themselves. So I figured you'd like to see that, because that's definite clay use there, and requires some planning to make a pot. So that's something that a normal primate doesn't do, but an aboriginal human or an archaic humanoid would have a bigger potential for doing a behavior like that and producing a product of some kind that they can utilize later, pot, tool, etc. Also indicates that they potentially use fire, because why would you need a bowl or a pot if you didn't utilize fire? So anyway, thought you'd like to see that. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on our little walk. Came down to see if there was any pigment grinding evidence going on. Instead I find this, so that's a good find. I'm happy with that. And it supports the rest of the cryptids in the area doing similar stuff this time of year. So it's something that's going to remain as a norm. It doesn't matter if you're in the deep woods or if you're, on the edge of society. The behavior will remain the same because they all do the same stuff. The ones that are more cultured do more tools. The ones that are less cultured do less tools. Keep that in mind. And there's a pair of interlaced. Wow, that's really cool. That's broken over and wrapped back through. Little X. Huh, cool. Marking the trail out again, I guess. And that's right where it should be. So learning to read these little behaviors and understand what's potentially going on. I'll give you a once around from this area. You know, you'll understand they're not primates, they're not greater apes, not baboons, they're not gorillas, they're not chimpanzees. The behavior is completely different when you look at it. Ground spore tells you that. So if you enjoyed my content, please consider liking and sharing and subscribing. Hope you have a great afternoon. I'm going to head back out of here. I gotta get ready to go to work. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you, everyone. And thank you. Got another anonymous donation of $500. That brings me up to $3,000. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for your contribution. And I'll include that GoFundMe link. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate all of you.